On the line with us is Chuck Collins, a senior scholar at the Institute for Policy Studies, the director of the Institute for Policy Studies program on inequality and the common good, and the co-editor of Inequality.org. He's also the author of a new book, The Wealth Hoarders. IPS-DC.org is the website. You can tweet him at IPS_DC or Chuck9921, T-O-1. Chuck, welcome back to the program. We have a worldwide crisis. We're talking here in the United States about trying to vaccinate America, and we're having our own challenges with that. But the fact of the matter is, here in the United States, we have enough vaccine to vaccinate every single person without a problem. In fact, vaccines are being wasted and spoiled. They're going out of date all across the South right now. But if we don't vaccinate, one of the rationales that's being given is we need to vaccinate Americans to stop new variants from emerging. But if we don't vaccinate the world, the new variants are inevitable. So what do we do?
Well, one proposal, and part of it is we've been looking at what's happening to billionaire wealth globally as well. And what we just, together with Oxfam, Fighting Inequality Alliance, we put out a report today that shows that the billionaire class, the 2,690 billionaires globally, have seen their wealth go up $5.5 trillion during the pandemic.
Whoa!
Their wealth went up. More than the previous 15 years, since 2006. So our proposal, is to levy a emergency pandemic windfall wealth tax, a 99% tax on this segment, this very small, under 3,000 individuals. We could vaccinate the world and have trillions of dollars left over to provide other forms of COVID relief to help rebuild the global economy. So that's
Wow.
one question is if anybody's worried about where the money is, we can tell you where it is.
I guess so. How does that translate to the United States?
The U.S., we have 714 billionaires in the U.S., and their wealth has gone up almost $2 trillion over this same 17 months. So,
So a little less than half of this is happening just here in the U.S.
Yeah. The U.S., China, and a few European countries have easily almost half the global billionaires. Mm-hmm. And again, this is a group that's, they haven't gotten smarter. They haven't gotten more innovative during the pandemic. They have benefited essentially from having their competition shut down, from a marketplace that's betting that they're going to consolidate their economic power going forward. And their gains have just surged while others have lost their lives and livelihoods. So we think a clawback tax provision is a really good idea. And incidentally, Tom, it would leave this global billionaire group. They'd still have $55 billion more than they did at the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow. So you're not even talking about taking all of it.
It's 99%. It seems.
Well, this is just the profits that they made during the pandemic. $5.5 trillion, 5 point something trillion dollars.
Yeah, basically they started the pandemic as a global group with about $8 trillion. Their wealth went up to $13.5 trillion in 17 months.
Breathtaking. That's breathtaking. And the wealth of average Americans, of course, declined, and we've got millions of fewer jobs. And so, Chuck, for people who want to know more about this, and actually, before I get to that, are any of the politicians of the world talking about this? I mean, if you're talking about a global system here, this would have to at least originate with the UN, I would think, or at least a consensus among the developed countries of the world. Is anybody taking this seriously?
Well, we're calling upon national governments that obviously have the ability to institute such taxes. And several countries, Argentina levied an emergency wealth tax during the pandemic. A number of other countries, it's currently being debated. Senator Bernie Sanders proposed it a year ago, just looking even at the first year of the pandemic and the trillion plus that went to U.S. billionaires. He proposed a 65% U.S. one-time wealth tax to help pay for COVID relief. So it's an idea that's being out there. And I think the idea of our report is, look, this really strikes a nerve. People know, that the wealthy have done well during the pandemic, but they have really no idea how rich the rich have gotten while everyone else's prospects have dimmed. So I think part of releasing this study is to help build support within national governments to levy wealth taxes. And you've written about this during times of war and national emergencies and the like. We've had emergency taxes and windfall taxes. So it's truly there's a historical precedent for
we did it during the Civil War.
These.
We did it during World War I. We did it during World War II.
Yep.
Yeah, it's arguably we did it during Vietnam. Chuck Collins, a senior scholar at the Institute for Policy Studies. His new book is The Wealth Hoarders. What's the best website, Chuck, for more information on this or for people who want to support what you're doing?
Yeah, check out Inequality.org. That is a website of the Institute for Policy Studies, but it's where you can learn more about sort of the inequality work and campaigns that people can plug into and some of the data and also the good news, how people are responding to try to reverse these extreme inequalities.
Great. Thank you. Inequality.org. We will check it out. Chuck, thanks so much for dropping by today. It's great talking with you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Keep up the great work. You're doing God's work there. Chuck Collins with Inequality.org. Be sure to check out the website.